Connors has arrived, sir.
Ah, yes, the Wentworth Wonder.
Yeah.
Is he settling in all right?
Well, she's got a smart mouth and not much brain to back it up. Usual Wentworth type.
That'd be right. Everybody's fairy godmother Anne Reynolds runs that place like a private boarding school.
Well, I reckon Connors has noticed the difference already, sir. Hardy and Jim Shelley are looking after it right now.
Good. I want her brought into line. I don't want any misfits in this prison.
Leave it to me, sir.
Hello, Brumby. Hear anything interesting?
I wasn't listening, Mr. Craven, swear.
No, of course you weren't.
I wasn't honest.
Well, that's good, Brumby, because if you were, I'd have to punish you, and you know how I'd hate to do that.
Oh, please, Mr. Craven.
Your cell's looking very untidy, Brumby.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Craven. I'll clean it up straight away.
I'd appreciate that, because you're getting a new cellmate.
Yeah?
Yeah, from Wentworth. And you know what tidy little devils they are. We wouldn't want to create a bad impression, would we?
No, sir.
Good.
Hello, Connors. Welcome to Blackmore. Connors, I'd be prepared to overlook the charge of insolence since it's your first day. But striking an officer, well, I'm afraid that's earned you a night in solitary. And regrettably, you'll miss the evening meal. I do hope it's under more pleasant circumstances next time we meet.
Time?
42 minutes.
Get her brother up here on the double. Cover him real close, do you know what I mean?
Right, sir.
Please, please, please. Please, please.
Bongo, over here, you stupid bastard! Nothing, mate! Run!
Stay right where you are, Connors.
Stop, Bongo!
I
Stop,
order my men to
Stop, you
shoot.
stupid bastard! Keep still!
Please, please.
Right, you two, get back over there. I said, is the cell allocation list ready yet? You two, get back there immediately.
Welcome to Wentworth.
I'll go and see what the hold-up is. Can you manage?
I doubt it. Right, now where's Reynolds?
Stinking murderer.
You shut your mouth. You're on a charge.
Thank you, Miss Ferguson. I'll see you later, Tucker. Sorry about that. Bad night. Can't have been easy on you girls either.
We'll manage. You want to see Mrs. Reynolds?
I certainly do. Looks like she needs a hand.
Murderer, 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 murderer.
I don't know how the hell you manage.
I manage very well, thank you. And while you're in my prison, you will not undermine my officer's authority. Is that clear?
If your officers aren't up to the job, dear, somebody's got to take a hand.
And that will be me. Understand that, and we'll get along fine.
Jeez, they're going to beat us too.
I'd like a word with these two, Miss Ferguson.
Certainly.
Well, you think you've got it pretty good, don't you? I just thought I should warn you that I'm still going to be around to make sure you behave yourselves. And that includes keeping your mouth shut about Bongo Connor's death. Is that clear?
Yes, Mr. Craven.
Because if you so much as breathe a word about that to anybody, you'll wish you were burned up in Blackmore. Are we communicating, Tucker?
She won't say anything.
I know.
I'm sorry to bother you at this hour, but I was wondering if you'd reconsider that report on Marty. He does tend to get a little headstrong at times.
Like his mother, eh?
Well, I certainly know he'd never do anything to jeopardise his career. He loves his work, and he will make a damn good officer, given the chance.
I see. Well, we're both due off. Why don't we go over to the local and discuss it under more congenial surroundings?
No, I'm sorry.
We could drink to your son's future and enjoy ourselves at the same time.
I'm sure we could, Mr. Craven. But I'd much rather discuss this as one professional to another.
Oh, dear. Then I'm afraid your little Marty could have a problem. Think about it.
Watch where you're going, woman. And get that stupid look off your face and move on.
I can't. I'm looking for...
Back here, you. It'll be the cage for you, girlie.
You shouldn't have done that. Sarah...
Shut your mouth!
What's going on?
This imbecile just struck me
I did not.
and followed it up with downright insolence.
I did not. He broke me poor aura. He ran into it and then he broke it.
Why aren't you at breakfast, Mel?
I was looking for Sarah. She's going to be real mad at you, you vandal.
That's enough, Jones. Sarah's gone to Barnhouse. Now you get along to breakfast.
He's gone.
Yes. Now run along.
My God, now I've seen it all. I've heard of mollycoddling, but this is ridiculous.
Merle is a special case, Mr. Craven.
Oh, yes, I can see she's special, as you call it. She ought to be locked away in Ingleside before she takes an axe to somebody.
She is totally harmless unless needlessly riled. Now, I'd like to see you in my office with Mrs. Morris.
I would have thought better of you, Mrs. Morris.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I do get the chance to tell my side of the story, don't I?
Of course.
Well, put it down to what you will. Mother's protective instinct, maybe, but this woman blatantly offered herself to me, so I dropped the charges against her son.
That's a lie.
Actually, I was quite surprised at such tactics from a woman of her standing, but you can rest assured, Mrs. Reynolds, that I won't be taking her up on the offer.
How dare you?
It's all right, Mrs. Morris. Wait outside for a moment, would you?
Her word against mine.
We both know I can't prove anything. But one more step out of line while you're in my prison, Craven, and I'll make sure you're thrown right out of the service.
You mean you'll try?
Of course, you always do the right thing by us, Mr. Craven. I was just saying that at the start, wasn't I?
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, and I know you boys always do your best too. That's why I'm giving you this chance, Stud. I don't like to see people laughing at you, particularly a bunch of slags like them.
Oh, I appreciate it, sir. Well, how do we get up to solitary?
You don't have to worry about that. Just make sure you're awake when your cell's unlocked.
No worries, sir.
My men will get you up there, but get this straight. You have your fun, but no marks, no cuts, no bruises. If you can't resist the lady's charms, make sure you leave nothing to suggest that you've been within 100 miles of her.
So why should I do her any favours?
Matter for yourself, Stud. This rubbish about the woman in solitary. I believe there's allegations that my men had something to do with it.
Well, did they?
Of course not. They were nowhere near the pound. I believe the duty officer was one of yours. That new boy, what's his name? Adams.
That doesn't mean other officers with keys didn't have access during the night.
Oh, I see. Protect your own and blame the visitors. There's not even any proof that she was raped.
How do you know?
I don't go off half-cocked, Mrs. Reynolds. I've spoken to the nursing sister.
Then you'll also know that we're expecting further tests to be done when the police surgeon gets here.
You're wasting your time. After that incident with Mullins, there'll be cries of rape every time one of your women passes a man, officer or prisoner.
There won't be, because I'm stopping all contact.
Oh, excellent idea. I suggested it myself yesterday.
And I want all your officers to give detailed accounts of their movements last night.
I suppose if I'd been on duty, I'd be on your hit list as well.
At the top.
Would you care to repeat that in front of the minister?
The minister knows what I think of you. Now get me that report on your officers.
Are you disobeying an order?
I've heard that some of you have been circulating vicious rumors directed against my officers. Now, there's no proof that Wilkinson was raped, so I can only assume that you've been collaborating with her to cause trouble.
Oh, no, we're not.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm calling you a liar, a rapist, and a murderer.
What
that down, Connors.
Stay back, all of you. It's Craven.
Stay back. You're being very foolish, Connors.
I'm going to kill you, you bastard.
There's 4 officers in this room and only one of you.
You murdered my kid brother, and you set Laurie up, you animal.
He was trying to escape. I don't know why you're so excited. He was only a junkie. Throw her in the pound. I think that just about takes care of that subject. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
Finally, I have to add my own experience of Mr. Craven. I find his behavior antagonistic and inflammatory to the point of posing an extreme security risk.
You must appreciate that coming hot on the heels of the riot, the last thing we need in the department now is this sort of dissension.
What price solidarity?
Can I have your reaction to these charges, Craven?
Amusement.
No explanation?
Possibly. I suspect hysteria has a lot to do with them.
These charges can be substantiated.
Can they? Take Wilkinson's rape allegation. 2 men, neither of whom she can identify, were able to gain access to what passes as the securest section of this prison. Despite the officer on duty, they committed rape and departed unnoticed and without leaving any evidence.
There'll be further examinations of Wilkinson.
That need to be. And I'd suggest there be some on Mrs. Morris as well. It seems that her neuroses is so extreme she can't differentiate between civility and sexual innuendo.
That is insulting and completely without foundation.
Then no doubt they're tactics that you're familiar with, Mrs. Reynolds.
Oh, let us confine ourselves to the issues, please. Go on.
As for my posing a security threat, well, that's laughable. It was Mrs. Reynolds who ordered the integration of the Blackmore men with the women held here.
The integration?
Hardly that. The prisoners had temporary and limited access to each other.
Well, whatever it was, it resulted in several of the women attacking and stripping a male prisoner. Now, is this an example of the cast iron security that I'm putting at risk?
That incident was of a minor nature.
Perhaps. But doesn't it typify the way you run Wentworth? In fact, Mrs. Reynolds, isn't that the real reason you're seeking to discredit me? Because my presence here threatens to expose your incompetence? Are you awake?
What do you want?
I just came to see how you were. All the women are worried about you. Looks like there could be some trouble.
I don't want the women to get into any trouble over me.
No, none of us do. But they've got some silly idea that I might have been responsible for what happened. Now, you don't believe that, do you?
I don't know. I don't know who did it.
Well, I think the best thing for all concerned would be for you to tell the truth, don't you? I mean, I've already had a look through your file, and you do have a history of making up stories. You even had to give up your little girl. Ah, yes. I know all about little Zoe. Now, you could make things a lot easier on yourself and all of your friends if you just tell the truth. I can jog your memory. And we don't want anyone else to get hurt now, do we? Particularly your little girl. No one needs to get hurt. All you have to do is just tell the truth. Do I have your word on that?
She seems to think all this trouble you're causing is the result of some deep-seated emotional problem.
I see. And you come to bash it out of me, right?
What? Oh. No. That's just the anesthetic, Connors. The doctors are waiting outside. Gentlemen.
I'm gonna kill you.
What's so special about Wilkinson anyway? She's only a slut, you know that. That kid of hers is no better. She'll be on the back earning dope money by the time she's 12. Okay, Connors. It's up to you whether she lives or dies.
We had him. We had the bastard.
Get on the phone and call reception. Get on the phone! Cheap little slag like you making things difficult. difficult for me.
You could have killed Rita.
Oh, don't worry, I'll kill her. Things will settle down here. But that's the least of your worries. I told you what had happened to your kid.
You'll burn in hell before you lay one
That's a
hand on my...
common cry around here, Wilkinson. Your daughter doesn't have to suffer just yet, but you do, just a little. Everybody seems to think that I tried to use this to kill Connors. But you're going to tell them that you did. You'll think of a reason. Otherwise, your little girl is his...